Alright, this is a nice simple one. To make the Anglo-Saxon gauntlet armor, you're going to need to print out the paper pattern pieces. You're also going to need 5mm craft foam, a craft knife or X-Acto knife, some kind of glue like cement glue that I use. Start by cutting out the paper patterns. You'll also need to cut out the little triangle mark here on piece C. Now we're going to draw the paper patterns onto the foam. Also mark down the letter designations and the cutting marks, those checkered lines and dots on some of the paper patterns, as well as the triangle mark on piece C that we just cut out. For piece A, I recommend you make piece A one big foam piece, like I'm doing here, but if you don't have the foam for it, don't worry about it, just cut it into two. Once this is done, cut out the foam pieces. Edges with line markers indicate that you need to cut away from the shape at about 45 degrees. This creates an extended face. Edges with dotted guides indicate that you need to cut into the shape at about 45 degrees. This creates an inverted face. Another marking you're going to see is this transitional mark, where you have an outward or inward cut right next to a straight line cut. This is signaling when one fluid motion go from an outward cut to a straight cut in one motion. The result is this outward cut to the straight in one smooth face. If you had to cut A into two pieces, glue them together along the long flat edge. Next, apply glue to the curved edges of both B and C pieces here. Once the glue is set, press the two B and C pieces together like so. The pieces will curve, which is on purpose, so don't fight it. Next, either with a heat gun or without one, I suggest you curve piece A like I'm doing here. Then apply glue to the outward cut edge at the top of piece A. And the straight cut edge of piece B. Now we're going to press A and B together. Using the center line of A and the center line of B, center piece B onto piece A, and then working on one side only, press the two pieces together. Once this is done, you can go ahead and do the other side of B. Before gluing piece C to piece A, figure out which orientation you want piece C to be in. I kind of see the orientation with the spike facing forward to be a more villainous look, while the rounded end facing forward is more of the heroic or neutral medieval look. It's completely up to you. Once you've set your orientation, line up piece C's edges, these ones here, to stick off the front edge of piece A, that is the opposite end of piece A, to piece B. Mark where piece C sits on piece A, on both piece A and on piece C. Now apply glue to both the outside face of piece A where you marked, as well as inside piece C where you marked. Once the glue is set, attach piece C to piece A, which should curve piece A and make it ready to attach to really any gauntlet. Here's an example of what the gauntlet armor looks like attached to my medieval bracer template, which you can find a link to in the description below. Now, as you can see, I've sort of elevated this pattern by making a lot of customizations and adding some trim designs to it. And this is how I made the trim designs. I take the original paper pattern piece of A and B, for example, I mark them down on a piece of paper, and then I get to drawing out how I wanted the trim to look like. I'd recommend making these trim pieces out of 1mm foam or something thinner than the actual piece, just so that it remains detail work rather than structural work. But that's also completely up to you. You can also use googly eyes and flatten them with a heat gun to make fake pins or bolts, which adds a bit more detail and character to the armor. Alright, and that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope the template helps you in your cosplay adventures. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more cosplay content.